Yes. What's up, man? It's your boy G Bush back at you again with another one. Welcome to the new Palatial Estates, man. I hope you like it, man. And if you like the barbershop, please check out my new show. It's called G Bush Live. I'll be digging into some other topics, digging into some current events, some other things outside of the purview of sports. So if you are really a big fan of G Bush, my takes, thinking outside the box, take a look at G Bush Live. It's a little change of pace. I'm gonna put it on the barbershop channel just because you can check it out, and I'll have it linked in different playlists, so you can check it out in a specific different playlist, and hopefully you guys will check it out and you'll like it. But I'll still be providing content specifically for the Browns, and that's what a lot of people on this channel want to see. So, without further ado, let's get off into this blog really quick, and I had to just break this down. Saw this come across my bottom line. J.J. Watt signs a 2-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals? Like, it's crazy because as I look at this situation, J.J. Watt signs with the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were on nobody's radar. Nobody's. If you saying that you saw this coming, you lying. If anybody from Schefter to any of the Jay Glazers, any of the dudes, the inside guys that tell you that they saw this coming, you're lying. It's not a situation, not a thing. He signs with the Cardinals, and hindsight, I could look at it, and it makes a little bit of sense now that I'm judging it, because you look at it, DeAndre Hopkins is over there. The secondary coach that was in Houston a lot of years was over there still again as well. So it's a lot of different things that make a lot of sense in terms of seeing why J.J. Watt would go to Arizona, but they just weren't on a lot of people's radars. On a lot of people's radars. The list that people had going into this thing were the Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans. They had mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they didn't have very much cap space. So this was a thing where it seemed to be an AFC team, and nobody talked about the Cardinals. So, when you're looking at this move from a perspective, in terms of what this means for the Browns, I think this hurts. I think this hurts a lot. And the reason this hurts a lot is because J.J. Watt, to me, was probably the best defensive lineman on the board in terms of what you can get. You didn't have to use any draft capital. You didn't have to use any picks to trade to go get him. He would have been the best guy in terms of what he could have brought as far as pass rushing ability. He could have been the best guy in stopping a run. I think he has one of the highest motors, high character guy. You don't have to worry about you going to go out and give that guy money, and he doesn't want to do and give his best on the field and try to go out and do what he needs to do in order to be on the field, right? I've talked to so many different people from Pro Football Focus. I've talked to the play-by-play voice of the Houston Texans. I've talked to people down in 610 down in Houston, which is the radio station. I've interviewed all people involved with J.J. Watt. I've done my due diligence on this case, and everybody that comes back and tells me, says, G. Bush, the guy can still play. G. Bush, the guy still has a passion for football. G. Bush, the guy was the most double-teamed guy in all of professional football last year, according to the statistics. So nobody double teams a guy if they don't have a reason to. No one double teams anybody if you don't need to double them, right? If you're self-checked, let him sit over there and let him do and go single block if he's not going to be a factor into the game. So he has something left, and it's evident by the amount of money that the Arizona Cardinals gave him. $30-some-odd million. 31, I believe. So when you're looking at this situation, and when you got an opportunity to look at what J.J. Watt can still bring to the table, I think it's a big blow for the Cleveland Browns because now what you have to do is you got to look at, well, what's next? You know, you got Olivier Vernon still in the mix. You still have Larry Ogunjobi that is still maybe still in the mix. Do you bring those guys back? Do you try to see what you can do to bring them back? In my opinion, I don't think you bring Olivier Vernon back. I know he had a good year last year, but I don't think you bring Olivier Vernon back. He was injury prone the year prior. He then comes back this year and he's coming off an Achilles heel. Go back and look at the track record of anybody who has an Achilles heel. Anybody. They've never come back to the same. Never. In any sport. In any sport. Kobe Bryant, Dominique Wilkins, that Achilles heel is debilitating. And you're talking about an explosive sport like football where you got to get off the ball, you got to get off on a jump, you got to get off on a snap count, you got to do a lot of these things to get off on the football. I'm not going to pay him that amount of money. He's coming off that crazy of an injury, even though I think he played really well at times last year. So what do we do? Where do you go from here? What you can't do is this. Going into the draft thinking you're going to develop a young guy is not going to work. I just want to get that out of people's minds right now. I know I ain't been around a little bit, and maybe if you don't listen to my show, maybe you ain't catching the barbershop. Maybe if you ain't hearing me 8 o'clock to 12 p.m. every single Saturday on Cleveland Airwaves on 92.3 The Fan, and if you don't catch it, you can watch the radio, listen to the radio.com app. You should be doing that. Radio.com rewind. You can rewind live radio up to 24 hours, pause, rewind, do all that, and you can catch up with the barbershop. But if you haven't been catching up with me, if you don't know what's going on, the Browns have no time to be waiting around. Browns have no time, no half-stepping to be waiting around to develop some young guys. Maybe you can get somebody in the 3rd, 4th round to develop them and see what we got going and all that good stuff. That's not what we're looking to do. The Browns are in no position to be waiting on nobody. The Browns' opportunity is mainly next year and possibly the year after that. After that, salary cap implications come in. After that, you got to pay people. After that, you got to be looking at how much money you're allocating to certain positions. And you don't have time to be waiting on a young guy. You got all these draft picks. These guys are not going to make the team. They're not going to make the team. Simple as that. What we have to do and what the Cleveland Browns have to do is then find out and evaluate who is left available on this market that can make an impact. There's a couple of names out there that you may be able to look at that you got to start kicking the tires on. One of those guys I'll mention in the next blog. I ain't going to give it to you right now. I ain't going to give it to you yet. I'm going to wait and save that to the next blog. I ain't been giving y'all content. I'm going to wait and give you this. I'm going to wait and give you that. There's a guy out there that I really think that can really help the Cleveland Browns. There's a guy out there that I think can really do some damage. I think they can help the Cleveland Browns. And I think this is the next best solution since you lost J.J. Watt. But I will say this. If you aren't going to be able to get anybody on a defensive line, this now puts a premium on your back end. And this also puts a premium at your linebacker position. I know people don't want to pay linebackers a certain amount of money and they don't want to do that and all that good jazz. But I'm going to tell you what. I just saw it in the paper the other day that the Browns may look at Levante David, and people are saying, we don't want to pay linebackers that amount of money. We don't. Just see how important linebackers are when you watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and in the way they played the Kansas City Chiefs. And you tell me him and White didn't cover those people down the field. The Cleveland Browns, I keep telling people, have not had a linebacker in over 30 years. They don't value linebackers, and then they wonder why you can't stop the run. You don't value linebackers, and you wonder why you get destroyed over the middle. Have you ever watched the Cleveland Browns game and wonder why the middle is wide open? Have you ever watched a Cleveland Browns game and it's 3rd and 16 and they get 18 and a half yards, first down, let's do it again? The Cleveland Browns are like that because they have the likes of Dwayne Rudd. They got the likes of Dwayne Robertson at backer. They got the likes of Cameron Wembley. When you got dudes like that and no thumpers, no guys that's bringing the wood on this defensive front, and you got guys that can't cover, you can't wrap, you can't cover, and you're a liability in the pass game? Come on now. The Cleveland Browns are going to have to do something to make sure that they shore that up. If you can't get J.J. Watt, which is a major piece off the board, I was looking forward to having different things we could do with versatility with him and Myles Garrett. And here's the thing that I don't want to hear either. Cleveland fans do this a lot. And I want to talk and speak to this in general. We got to stop doing this, man. This kind of stuff irks me. I kind of figured out what it is a little bit too here. See, the Browns have this mentality, right? And I always ask myself, why is it that the Browns fans don't seem to want nobody? They don't seem to want Richard Sherman. They don't seem to want Patrick Peterson. They said, we want somebody younger. Marshawn Lattimore has been rumored to be with the Cleveland Browns, want to come play for the Browns. I do a radio show. We don't want Marshawn Lattimore either. He's 26. Way younger than Sherman. No, we don't want him. What about Stephon Gilmore? No, we don't want him neither. I'm starting to ask myself, well, who the heck do you want? And then it finally dawned on me. It's not the fact that Cleveland fans don't want these individuals. It's the fact that they would like to hedge their bets. So if they get let down, and if they don't win, and these players don't pick Cleveland, they can always say, well, I never wanted them anyway. I never wanted them anyway. Never was really interested, G. Bush. Glad we didn't get him. Doesn't fit what we want to do. J.J. Watt paid too much for him over in Arizona. Cardinals let him have him. Never really wanted him. Lattimore. He went to where? Okay, he went to where'd he go? Tennessee. We never wanted him anyway. Let him have him. You remember what happened with Clowney? Guy didn't do anything anyway. These guys are overpaid, all that money, no production. We don't need them. Good riddance, G. Bush. We're good with what we got. We need young guys in here. Get some guys in here, draft some young guys. See, y'all got to stop doing that. I understand what it is. It took me a while to understand what it was. All it is you hedging your bet. See, you don't want to put your heart on your sleeve and get turned down. That's it. You the guy that says, you know what, I never wanted to go to the prom anyway. Why? Because you didn't want to ask the girl out? You that guy. I'll go by myself. It's always fun hanging around with your bros anyway. It's always fun. It's always fun. It's always much fun when you're with your buddies, man. Who needs these girls anyway? You didn't lie to yourself. I do not want to hang around no hard legs. I don't. Yeah, boys is cool. But when it get to be about 12 o'clock at night, you get to looking around. Get about 3-4 drinks in your system. You do not want to see none of your boys with facial hair. You trying to see something different. If you know, you know. Those are the guys running around here lying to themselves, talking about, we don't need J.J. Watt. I don't even really want him. I don't want to see no people talking about, let's just bash J.J. Watt because he didn't come here. This hurts. It hurt a little bit because we could have used a ball player like J.J. Watt. We could have used a ball player like J.J. Watt. You don't think we could? You don't think that guy would have been an asset to this team? Of course he'd be an asset to the squad. Of course. But we the only fan base that do that kind of stuff. Oh, we never needed him. Never wanted him. No. What we need to do now is we need to get back on track and we need to start getting aggressive. We need to start getting in the mix. We got to keep that situation going because here's the reality. Here's the reality, boys and girls. We still need an end. We still need a rusher, and we better be in the market. Now it's going to get a little more tricky and a little more expensive because now you're going to have to spend draft picks, capital, and you're going to have to trade for one. Because there are no defensive ends, I believe, that are on the market that are worth the money going in there. Because I don't think the ends that the Browns could really even target are going to be impactful for the money and the price that they're looking to get. So, it was a blow, man. Out of the blue, it just goes to show you how unpredictable sports can be, how unpredictable football is, and how unpredictable the game is. J.J. Watt going to the Arizona Cardinals, and I did not see it coming. I think it makes the Cardinals a pretty good team. They already got Chandler Jones. If Kyler Murray can make that next step, they got great veteran leadership. The locker room is going to be grade A leadership. Larry Fitzgerald, J.J. Watt. They're going to have production on the defensive side of the football. And I think that puts the Cardinals. The Cardinals saw an opportunity to take a step where the Rams took a little step back. The Rams are going to be in shuffling with the quarterback situation with Stafford coming in. Then you also look at the situation that's happening up in Seattle. Russell Wilson looks like he's a malcontent. So you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they took the opportunity to say, let's get better. We smell a little blood in the water. We want to move up in that NFC West. And I think they made their defense better. I think they made their football team better. If Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake, if those two guys can make a couple of steps, they got DeAndre Hopkins. You know what he is. He's one of the best guys, one of the best receivers in the game. I just think Arizona did themselves well by going out, getting J.J. Watt, and I think they're going to be a contender in the NFC. As always, salute to everybody. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Share this. Make sure you go ahead and salute that. Make sure you go represent the barbershop. And make sure you follow me at GBush91 on Twitter. Make sure you go ahead and do that. And check out GBush Live, man. GBush.live. It's the new website. If you love the barbershops, GBush.live has all my content on there. And it also has all the barbershop merchandise. Check out GBush.live. You can go check that out right now. And I'll put that link in the description. As always, thanks for checking out the barbershop. We'll catch you.